Part 1 of my series talking about wrestlers I don't fucking like. First episode, I'm going to be talking about Patt Patterson. Patt Patterson was known for being a gay icon, but many people didn't actually know he was gay. He actually didn't come out until a 2014 episode of Legends House. Many of the wrestlers that were actually on the episode actually knew he was gay though, even though he had multiple allegations of sexual assault. Many of the wrestlers said if they wanted their spot, they would have to go into a hotel room and just lay there. This room would be pitch black. They would then be assaulted by Patt Patterson. These included sexual acts. Many of the wrestlers obliged, and many said it was their fault. And many actually made it into a running joke on why they weren't picked Patt Patterson's victims. If you ever get the chance, watch this video on people speaking of Patt Patterson and their experience with him. Many said that it was the most incredibly awkward experience of their lives. None of the people in the video did sleep with Patt Patterson. And one even said he almost beat the crap out of him because he asked him he goes both ways, meaning he's bi. Roddy Piper also talked about being molested by Patt Patterson in an interview. He blamed himself for it, but didn't say anything much further. He actually continued to be friends with Patt Patterson, and during the day that Patt Patterson actually came out, you can see Roddy Piper kind of look up to the ceiling as if he knew. It's quite funny to watch. But even though all this was happening, many said that if you actually talked about this, you would be removed from the company. You also would be removed from the company if you refused to sleep with them. Again, go watch the YouTube video because most people explain what happened. Many people were actually very good sports about what happened to them, and even make jokes. Again, this is their experience, so not demeaning any of them. Patt Patterson unfortunately died on December 2nd, 2020, at the age of 79. He will be remembered as an icon, but also remembered for the stuff he did. Also, many people don't realize that being gay back then was also very hard. Many were bullied or ridiculed for even coming out as gay. Patt Patterson was known as an icon in his stage, being the first Intercontinental Champion, without people knowing he was gay. It was known he sexually assaulted at least half of the locker room, and molested many of the young wrestlers during his time. And I mean molested because many of them were underage, like Roddy during his experience, which I think it said he was 15 or 16 during his experience. And I'm all for being gay, but seriously, he used and abused his power. So yes, this is the episode of Patt Patterson, and part 1 of Wrestlers I Hate. Part 2 will be George the Animal Steel.